What's up, guys? This is NikkoHero. This is the full breakdown and reaction to Matthew Ball interview from the game business. Matthew Ball is the Xbox CSO. Let's dive into it.
Xbox, and I think there might have been some Xbox news this week. Please welcome Matthew Ball. Hello, Matthew. Welcome to the show.
Good morning.
Welcome back. When we booked you, you said to me, there might be something going on. I definitely wouldn't have guessed you were becoming the Chief Strategy Officer of Xbox.
So 2 things on that. I wouldn't have guessed it either, and that's not what the conflict was. That's in 1 week.
Oh, wow.
I get the great joy of going on a family vacation.
Maybe Xbox needs some new blood. His eyes look kind of big and open, but maybe he's excited. Maybe he's excited to be Team Xbox, right?
With the
He looked like anxious. He looked anxious a little bit. I don't know.
in-laws for 10 days, which will be, I think, day 18 to 28 of being an Xbox employee.
Wow. Tell us, how did this come about then? How are you a part of Xbox?
Well, so, and we riffed about this, and this is the true story. I did not know Asha before she became Xbox CEO. I did not know that she was about to become Xbox CEO, but as you know, and hopefully many in the audience know, I love games. I'm obsessed with them, I've played them for decades, and I'm fascinated with where the industry can go. It has had a tougher run, Xbox is included in that. And so when she became CEO, she had asked if I would spend some time with her reviewing the business, thinking about where growth can come from, thinking about the mistakes that have been made, the bets that were made that didn't or did pan out. And as part of that, I came to really like Asha, really believe in her as a leader overall and as a leader for Xbox, really.
See, even he believes in Asha. I'm like, see, look, people that's smart or like people that can critical think, people that's optimistic, we can see the light, we can see the vision. He might see the same vision I see with Xbox and Asha Sharma. By 2030, Xbox might be number 1.
Believe in the strategy. And then as that relationship progressed, I came to see the areas in which I could contribute. And so when she asked if I would join, it was an irresistible opportunity.
Yeah.
I think CSO is like Chief Strategic Officer. So he gonna have the strategies, I guess.
I think the big question everyone in the room wants to know is, what does this mean for your annual state of video gaming reports?
So there are promises I can make and promises I can't make. I would tend to think that if it comes out again, it would be shorter, but knowing me, it probably still won't be. Hopefully I can throw some additional bodies at it to get it there. But the truth of the answer is, I hope to publish more. She wants me to publish more. It's important for us as a company, especially during this hardship, especially as we turn the company around, that we communicate what we're doing, why. In some instances, that's just about being honest about it. In other instances, it's about revealing some of the details that you usually don't disclose. We're going to start doing that more and more.
Oh, now I mean, see, look, it depends on the person. Like, sometimes people don't want to know about that or want to be lied to or just don't tell me about it. But the kind of person I am, let me know. And I'm going to think about it. I'm going to sleep on it. I'm going to critical think, and I'm going to be optimistic about it too, though. I'm okay. So they said, hey, the business is down. We losing money. We might got to close some studios. Now, please don't stop putting out games, but maybe the ones that's making trash games or maybe the ones that's taking all day. Okay, yeah. Okay, you took Call of Duty out of Game Pass. Everybody was mad at first, but if you play Call of Duty, you play it. You're going to buy it. But I want to have a cheaper Game Pass and not have to pay for Call of Duty because I don't play Call of Duty. So I don't want to be charged for it. You know what I'm saying? Keep it over there if you want to buy it. Game Pass over here. Keep it affordable.
But separate from that fact, 1 year ago today, if you had asked me was I going to publish a report in January, I would have said no. I did not plan to do the first one. I didn't plan to do the second. I didn't plan to do the third. Last year was basically the end of August in which I started to have an idea as to what I would publish. As I pursued that, I concluded there was something to say, there was something interesting to say, and then I just dragged that thread farther and farther. And that's how we got to the report. Right now, I can't tell you what I would write, even if I wanted to, but we'll see.
If anyone hasn't read it, it's a fascinating report.
Thank you.
You were on the show earlier in the year talking about it. Okay, let's talk exclusives. Xbox announced yesterday that Gears of War on Clockwork Revolution will be console exclusive. Explain to me what games are going to be console exclusive going forward and which ones.
Console exclusive. Y'all want it, y'all got it. Now you better support it. Everybody who kept saying exclusive, we need to be on console, you better go buy it, because I'm part of the crew that, hey, if it's on PC Game Pass, I'm cool. You know what I'm saying? I don't really mind certain games on PS5. Y'all can have Halo. You can have Forza. Show the love. And we make money on the back end to fund Game Pass. Guys, think like this. If they make money selling games that they make from other gamers, they can keep affording to make more games for us Xbox Game Pass gamers. They make money over there on PS5 multi-platform to bring the money and games back here to VIP Game Pass players.
Might we still see on PlayStation and Nintendo?
So I can tell you how we're thinking about it. We have an internal framework and a strategy that we're using to approach exclusives on and off platform. I'll start with a quick recap. We announced yesterday that there were 2 titles, one coming this year, one coming next year. Doing 2 titles was important. We could have announced Clockwork was going to be exclusive later at the end of the year when we got closer and closer to the 25th anniversary. We could have kicked off 2027 by talking about that as an exclusive. It was important for us to include 2 titles so that people understood this was not a one-off. It was not a commemorative. We were not saying it's our 25th anniversary, it's Gears' 20th anniversary, we're returning to Xbox, here's...
Hey, I kind of like this guy because he making sense. This all that we want to, well, for me, which should be for you too, is making sense. We want to let y'all know. We hear y'all want exclusives. We not going to just have one so you don't think it's just a one-off. We got 2 this year and next year. And it might be more if you buy the games. But we still putting over Halo and Forza on PS5 to make some money, just in case, as a fail-safe. That's just business. That's just being smart. And he letting us know.
An exclusive. This is the start of a program, and players can expect a reliable pipeline that validates their historical investment in the Xbox platform, keeps them as Xbox players going forward, and everyone in the industry understands that exclusives are important to the growth and branding of that platform. We've also said publicly that there's a series of titles, predominantly those that are designed for large live service multiplayer platforms, COD being the best example, are going to remain non-exclusive. We have a 3rd bucket of titles, those titles that we have previously announced or previously committed with our partners, with players, with teams, that we've decided to maintain those commitments. That is important to us as we migrate through this 4th area. And that is, Asha has been clear that our business today is not healthy. She's been clear that we are turning around the business. Every day we are going to come more and more outwards about what we're doing, why we're doing it. And the reason why I say that is today I can't give you a more comprehensive answer. Here are all of the titles that players can expect this year, next year, and thereafter that are going to be exclusive. We know what those are going to be. We know how we're going to make those decisions. We know how we're going to be evaluated against those decisions. But what's important there is that framework has to be external eventually. Everyone in this audience is an expert, an aficionado of the field, and I understand why they are saying we still don't quite get it. We have to communicate that internally. We have to communicate that to our partners. But then most of all, at the end of the day, the average player, the average current Xbox player, and the player that we want but don't have today have to understand it very simply. That's where we're going. We're just not ready to do it yet.
And I get them. Like, hey, some of them will, some of them not. Is that so hard? I don't get it. Just buy Xbox if you want to play the game. But then also make the Xbox ecosystem so valuable. I want to stay over there full time, prime time, main most of the time.
I was going to ask what makes Clockwork Revolution an Xbox console exclusive, but not Senua. But I guess is that because of those commitments you talked about to teams and that before you made that decision?
No further comment.
No.
Oh, no further comment.
Well, Oh, we'll move on then. Well, isn't the console sector dying? Isn't it? Isn't it all about PC and multi-platform and meeting gamers where they are?
So the answer to your latter question is yes. The first one is no. So I'm very on the record, as most people kind of agree. The reality is most players and most revenue is on mobile. Second to that, we have the most hours and the most players on PC, but less revenue than on console. Console is a 40 to 45 billion.
They breaking the numbers down. Yo, hear what he said.
Players and most revenue is on mobile.
Most players and most revenue is on mobile. We know that. But then he said, we making money on PC, or no, the players over there on PC. The players in ours. But his ain't making no money like console. I mean,
Second to that, we have
but it's making money, but not on console.
the most hours and the most players on PC, but less revenue than on console. Console is a
Less revenue than on console. PC made less money than console?
40 to 45 billion dollar business. Is it growing as fast as PC or mobile? No. Are there as many hours? No. Business. Is it growing as fast as PC console? Console is a 40 to 45 billion dollar business. Is it growing as fast as PC or mobile? No. Are there as many hours? No. Is my bet that that platform is substantially larger tomorrow or in 28 or in 29 than it is today? No. I think we have some great catalysts along the way. But we are still talking about hundreds of millions of players who spend 40 plus billion per year in a category that they love, that I love, that has iconic franchises attached. And more important to that, it is durable and valuable and important to us. We have no desire to move away from the console business. And dying, no, it's not declining. It is growing. It's going to have a great year this year. What is important is that we restore that business for us. Before we look beyond to those other platforms, do we need to get better at PC? Yes. Do we need to get better at mobile? Yes. At the same time, we can't ask publishers, partners, and especially players to bet on us on other platforms where we are behind, where our technology is inadequate, before we shore up the platform we have, the platform that many believe.
I think he's just rambling right now. I don't know. He kind of lost me right here. He kind of going on a little bit long, but hey, if you understand it, somebody tell me in the comments.
We have mistreated them on.
Do you think you can grow your market share with this strategy?
Absolutely.
I'm from the UK. Xbox is pretty big in the UK. It does reasonably well, just as it does in the US. But the rest of Europe, not so much. Japan, not so much. So isn't this going to hold some of your games back from their global reach?
First and foremost, in every single one of those markets, PC tends to be the most popular gaming platform, at least for the titles that we're talking about right now. Windows is already where the world plays.
He's saying PC where it's at, man, and that's true. I play on PC now, and I was a huge console guy.
And that's a very important slogan to the company. It's very important to Asha, and it is very much a rallying point for the company. We strongly encourage all players who want to play those titles to do so in those markets. At the same time, we are making an investment in our platform, the console platform, that is going to be strengthened by these exclusives. And so part of this is, of course, we are thinking about the full ecosystem. We love to invest in our publishers and our studios and our developers. We are trying to build a healthier business overall, that in the short term, yes, there are going to be a few copies of titles A and B in this narrow window that are probably going to sell fewer. That's an investment we are making. That's a decision that our studio.
So he already know. They ain't gonna sell as much, but they gonna sell something. And we take that risk, though. The risk.
Studios are behind because they all believe this puts us on a path to your question, which is, can we take market share? Can we grow? Can we be stronger? I believe the answer to all three of those questions is yes, and that will hold none of our franchises back over time.
We've spoken before about this because I know we're both console fans, and I do think some competition in the console space is important. I think back to the sort of heady 360 PS3 Wii days, and everyone was innovating and pushing each other, and the overall sector grew. And I'm generally very pleased to see it happen. But you said to me back in February that you were pretty frightened, right? You were pretty frightened by the cost of RAM and what that would mean for consoles.
Oh, yeah.
And since we spoke, the PS5 price has gone up, the Steam Deck price has gone up, the Switch 2 price has gone up. Are you still pretty frightened?
More so. The simple answer here, and I think this is an.
At least he honest.
area where we as a company are going to try and do a better job of articulating what that means. When you and I spoke, I think that was February, early February,
yeah.
had not even discussed joining here. I mean, Asha wasn't CEO yet, but that's an important time point or comparison. When I said I was pretty frightened about the DRAM crisis, I think that was the quote, I was overlooking the shortage of memory, or sorry, the shortage of storage. But the other thing is, at the time I had a lot of response. You ran it with the second headline, I think, right? We did a two-parter. So I had a lot of feedback. There was a lot of Ball is being histrionic on Twitter. Usually not those terms, by the way, as you can imagine. The answer is, however many months, 6 months later, I was underestimating how bad it is. And I was underestimating how bad it was in February, and it has become significantly worse since. And I certainly understand the ways in which every single person in the industry is frustrated by that. It is bad for players. It is bad for the platforms. Our obligation in the industry to our publishers, who are partners, is to grow that base so that they can help grow their business at a time in which everyone is struggling for growth. The crisis is the right term. The crisis is not yet getting better. The window in which
He's long-winded.
we and others are going to have to work through is getting longer, and that is going to constrain the category.
How much longer?
Well, the current estimates are at least, so let's talk about memory. The biggest challenge with memory right now is most of the consensus estimates say that the overall undersupply will be about 30 to 40% next year. So when you're looking across the big tech ecosystem and the tens or hundreds of billions cumulatively that is being spent on CapEx, that is despite the fact that there is 30 to 40% fewer pieces available to build what they want to build. Now, the entire system is marshaling to get around that. The Chinese ecosystem is rapidly onboarding production capacity, but we are still at a point in time in which a lot of work needs to be done to meet that. We are in a situation now, and I get this, I see this on Twitter, a lot of people are complaining about a lack of supply of Xbox consoles. I can tell you definitively, demand for our console exceeds the supply. We are putting them in as many stores as possible. We are producing them as quickly as possible. There is a severe limitation to how quickly we can do that, but it's not a question of appetite. We need to do more, but there are constraints here. And so there are, unfortunately, a number of different markets in which we do not have supply. There are other markets in which we have inadequate supply. That is a privilege as a company. It is a challenge for us to figure out.
So this is definitely going to impact the next generation then?
Is it going to impact the next generation? Yes. But I'll tell you a few different things. Number one is we are working very hard to rethink everything that we can about Helix, which is a console we are committed to shipping. And we are very cognizant of the ways in which we need to change as a company to make sure it is affordable, to make sure that it is flexible. We are working hard to rethink what that console model can look like, not in an exclusionary way, but in an additive way, so that as we take a look at this crisis, which may have acute effects for 2 years, 2.5 years, beyond that it's hard to speculate, but the cascade and ripple will endure. We are working very hard to figure out the best way to navigate it for a way that works for everyone, that does not ask too much from players, but also doesn't detract from the other investments that we need to make as a company.
I think Sakana revealed that, a few months ago now, revealed that over half of console buyers in the US are $100,000 plus households. A6 to do.
There's laughs. I don't know who's laughing.
On the context of all this, the pricing, the shortages, what do you expect GTA 6 to do?
There's laughs. I don't know who's laughing. But nice to meet you. And so there's an interesting question. I don't know what the internal forecasts are. I get to plead the fifth a bunch today. This is probably the only window. It's like day 9 or day 10 for me. I don't think in maybe even a week people are going to give me a